Hi, welcome to Magic Gathering Strat. This is Julien. You're joining me for a Mirrodin Darksteel 5th Dawn draft. This is our pack 1, it's just started. Got some interesting choices here. The Mia, the Mer, I call them Mer, a lot of people call them Mia. I've heard some people say Maya, everyone has their own reasons. They're pretty good. Shatter is just strong removal. Bone Splitter's a very good card as well. Aside from that, you've got Nim Lasher is an amazing, some black cards, some white stuff. That's an okay removal spell. Dead Iron Sledge. Basically, it's between, for me, it's between the Mer and the Bone Splitter. They're both very strong. I think Bone Splitter is just a bit more powerful, but I could really go either way on it. I'm going to take Bone Splitter because it can make any deck good. Iron Mer is still pretty strong, but it's more of a role player, not quite such a dominating card. Alright, and now we've got Icy Manipulator, which is quite good. It's an okay card, surprisingly, but not that amazing. Thoughtcast can be okay if you end up with a lot of artifacts, which is the goal. Silvermer is good. Silvermer and Ironmer are both good because blue and red are two of the stronger colors to be in. Got Spike Shot Goblin here, which can be very strong with a Bone Splitter. I'm not sure if I like it more than Silvermer. Just past Shatter and Ironmer, so it's hard to say. Icy Manipulator is also very good. I could actually be tempted into taking this. It's very strong, just periodically locking down the best thing. Better than either of these two. I think I'll take the Icy Manipulator. We've only got one opportunity to pick one up, and it is just removal. An artifact heavy set like this, it can get rid of so many problem permanents. The charade of awful rares continues with this thing, which I'm not even going to bother with at the moment. This card can be okay, kills creatures, can be a good combat trick. All the random artifact creatures are fine. Bad Hill Giant, just like the bad Air Elemental from before. Mindstorm Crown's not bad. It can get you extra cards. The problem is if you have cards in hand, it deals damage to you instead. Vault of Whispers is okay, just having random artifacts is effective. I think it's probably between Vault of Whispers and Mindstorm Crowns. Pack's actually pretty weak. Blinding Beam's also quite good, but I'm not sure if I really want to branch into a color immediately. I'll take Vault of Whispers because it would definitely make my deck. Just having artifact lands is strong. Ironmer, once again a good card. Somber Hoverguard is actually quite strong. The affinity things, when they have flying, affinity flying is strong. There's a Tree of Tails, but it's not as good as an Ironmer because no acceleration. It doesn't pick up Bone Splitter. Talisman of Impulse is okay, but once again, this picks up a Bone Splitter, doesn't deal us damage. This is not bad. It's basically unblockable a lot of the time, but I'm not going to bother going after that right now. Like, what you want to do is just have a consistent deck and try and play powerful things. I mean, just like any limited format, but this format especially can really reward you for having a consistent, strong curve, a lot of artifacts. There's another Mer. Tooth of Chiscoria is okay. What's this one do? That's pretty bad. Each player discards a card every turn. Ogre Leadfoot's okay. It's very hard to block. The Golems, once again, they're all good. All just playable. New Replicas, fine. But I'm going to take the Mer. Because if you take a ton of Mer, your deck just ends up strong. Okay. Power Conduit lets you move around counters. I don't have any right now. You can get okay with the 5th Dawn pack. I'm not sure if that's really what I want to go after. Elf Replica, sadly, only kills enchantments, not the relevant permanent type. Mirror Enforcer is actually okay at the moment for me. It's a 4/4. The Chiscoria stuff is fine, but I'd rather have some creatures right now. Don't have an artifact creature card. I think I'll go for Mirror Enforcer first. If I pick up one of these after, that's okay. Nim Shrieker can be good as well, but having a 4/4 just seems good. Here we've got Leon and Scimitar, which is playable. Nim Lasher, which is probably the worst of these +1/+0 Nim cards. It just has a very high power, but dies to everything. Spell Bombs are all playable, but this one's probably the worst of them all as well. Lightning Beam still here, could try and pick that up. Kind of like the idea of just getting a bunch of equipment and making my opponent feel bad for or just having like one really good creature on the board at all times. 4 mana 3/3 flyer, gets smaller all the time. I think I'll just take the Scimitar. Certainly no bone splitter, but it's playable. Lure for a turn, that's okay. Arclight Shaman, not bad. Basically get to Wrath if you really need to. Your Spell Bomb, once again, it's better than the other one, but not by a wide margin. Don't want that damage. I think I'll actually just go Nim Replica here. It's a 3 mana 3/1, which is already playable. It's got mild upside. Yeah, that seems fine. The rest of the cards are all powerful enough, but just not that consistent. Contaminated Bond. Yeah, not amazing. It's no Lust for War, unfortunately. Override could be okay, but 3 mana for a counterspell is more than I really want to pay. Battle Growth, not the most amazing combat trick. 6 mana 3/3, not really. Don't want the Nim Lasher. Could take Consume Spirit. At the moment we're very heavy black. I'll actually take Consume Spirit, because if we end up heavy black, it's very strong. Oh, Irradiate's not bad. The Viridian Join is still here, but we don't care about that. Get 2/1 White Soldiers. Lagworm Armor can make a good blocker, but that's about it. Yeah, Irradiate actually does a removal spell. Our deck is entirely creeped with artifacts at the moment, with 1 black spell, so Irradiate's looking pretty good. So Mindstorm, Crown, Wield, so did Whale of the Nim. I think I'll actually take Whale of the Nim because it can be a fairly powerful combat trick. If you entwine it, it does a lot, and right now we're looking fairly black. 3 mana Fear, 4 mana 3/1 untaps artifacts. I think the Fear is just a bit better. There can be decks it's good against. Unfortunately, everyone has artifacts, so it's a bit worse, but it's a 3-drop. Choose a Discoria, perfectly playable. Not amazing, but playable. Better than Slagworm Armor, in my opinion. Makes things better at killing your opponent. It's basically a pinger. Blinding Beam is also playable. Not that I'm hugely excited about getting that. If we can make Consuming Spirit good, Consume Spirit. It's not the act of consuming spirit, it's just consume spirit. Like an order. Do it. Consume that spirit. Yeah, that's a fine card. Alright. Darksteel Colossus. Quickly check if that's worth anything. I'm not certain it is. I'm actually going to open up MTG Goldfish, because that's better for these old cards. It's worth nothing! Yay! What do we have? Spawning Pit. That creatures make 2/2s, that's okay. That's pretty bad. Pretty average. Makes more mana, don't need that. Tap all artifacts. 4 mana 3/3 with a downside. Not amazing cards here. Right now Spawning Pit looks fine. Drill Skimmer has Shroud, so 4 mana 2/1 Shroud, not amazing. Lockstar Mystic's not bad actually. If I'm gonna go a second colour, it'll be for that. Reading through. New York Prodigy can be okay as well, it's flying. Razor Golem. Might actually just take Razor Golem in the end. I think it's actually just better, it's an artifact. If I do play planes. 5 mana 3/4 Vigilance is playable. Anything cheaper than that is good. I just want consistency, I don't want weird janky cards like Spawning Pit. Ooh, Screams from Within is not bad. Aluminum Bowler, also not bad. Mirrodin's Core is okay. Arcbound Hybrid has haste. This gives something the Nim ability, so it gets +0. Echoing Decay is pretty good removal here. Don't think it's better than Screams from Within, but it's pretty close. Cryptocurrency Soaker is not interesting. It lets you scry 1 repeatedly. It's almost worth a card, but Lean in Bowler is actually pretty good. I think Screams from Within is just a bit stronger. this wasn't here, it would be between Echoing Decay and Linear Bowler, but I'm fairly black at the moment, and I'm happy to go down that path. So if I am, Dross Golem is okay. Whenever an opponent casts a non-artifact spell, so you can turn this into a 6/6, that's not terrible. This gets bigger for every artifact you play, that's also not terrible. That's a 1/1. Quicksilver Behemoth is pretty okay as well. So Dross Golem is decent, but I'm not sure if I care about a 3-mana 3/2 most of the time. That's what it will be. Arcbound Crusher can do powerful things. It can become fairly big, and it's not hard to just sort of protect it a bit, have another guy on the board in case I have a removal spell. These guys are big, but stand together is a pretty good trick. There's some good green cards here, so I have to be aware of that. Green gets a lot of artifact removal as well, so that's also something to be aware of. I think I'm okay taking Arcbound Crusher here. It is a game plan in and of itself. Okay, 6-mana 3/5. You can kill artifact creatures if you trick them into blocking. Chimeric Rats, now that's what I'm talking about. This is just awesome value against players who are on, like someone's on the draw against you, you just play this turn 3, punishes them pretty bad. Especially if I have like, people keep bad hands without the correct lands, and this stuff just kills them. Actually just kills them. Doesn't have much to compete with. These charms are not actually playable. There's another Razor Golem if I really want to go down that route, but I think I just want Chimeric Rats. Chimeric Rats. There's a Darksteel Citadel, Spy Golem. Grimclaw Bats is okay. Nothing crazy. Darksteel Ingot, perfectly playable. Forge can be good against equipment. Have to keep that in mind that there's one of those wandering around. This can turn lands into artifacts, which not actually that amazing, probably worse than Liquid Metal Coating. Could just take Spy Golem here, like it's just an okay card. 5 mana for a 2/4 flying is like fine. Darksteel Citadel is not bad, but I'm gonna keep taking overcosted artifacts. I don't want any of the black cards here that badly. Don't really want to branch into green for either of those. Darksteel Citadel is not that great, so I'll just take Spy Golem. It's not a bad card, 3/3 indestructible. Ooh, this is an awesome card for a modern deck. Cheerios. Goes around Pure Steel Paladin, 0 cost equipment, and retracting them to your hand. With Mox Opal, you can basically have all your attracts be free cards that draw you about 7 cards each. Darksteel Brute becomes a 2/2. Not that amazing. I think I'll take the Gargoyle. It's very expensive, but it's good. If I'm playing enough land. Ooh. This is expensive, but I like me expensive artifacts. Although Quicksilver Behemoth is also just really cheap and it's a 4/5. This is such a weird card. It can be good against certain decks, but usually it's just bad. I mean, if you manage to kill their best artifact and then scrounge it, that's kind of okay. I think I want Arcbound Overseer. It's really expensive, but you can end up with a deck that makes it quite strong. Transmuter's okay. Machinate. If I'm playing blue, it will not be heavy. Protection from artifacts, 3/1. Also not bad. Can actually host my deck decently. I've got this Irradiate here for stuff like that. So, Janky Human or Tel'Gelad Outrider. I don't see myself playing green at the moment. I think Tel'Gelad Outrider is strong enough, but it seems like green isn't that widely open. Pool Golems I can be okay, helps me cast Darksteel Gargoyle and Arcbound Overseer. But I could just take Scavenging Scarab or Arcbound Worker. At the moment Arcbound Worker looks okay. Because it pumps something else up, it's alright, it's just not, there's nothing crazy in here, I just really don't want either of these janky 4-drops. Not a lot here either. Neuroprodigy is fine. It's not very good. The fact that this is a sorcery makes it a lot worse. Destroying enchantments isn't something you're scrabbling to do in this set. Yeah, I think I'll just take the Prodigy. Artifact creatures came flying, not that good. Turn an artifact from the graveyard you had, that's playable. Sack a land to draw a card and put a charge counter on that. It's also okay. Could just take this stupid big spider. I'll take Ritual of Restoration. Get someone with a lot of artifact destruction, I might side it in with some white. Not amazing. I'll just take Moon Vessel as another 1-drop in case I want to go ultra low in the curve. Yeah, I'll just take Scavenging Scarab. Don't want to manipulate people's libraries that badly. Nourish does not matter to me, so I'll just take this in Flame. Take Crazed Goblin, also not playing either of those. Alright. Now we're into pack 3, Fifth Dawn. This is the weird pack. The thing about this format is you had the original Mirrodin, which was a fairly strong set, and then you had Darksteel. Sorry, I almost forgot the name of that set. And then you had Fifth Dawn, which is all about multicolor for some weird reason. So Clearwater Goblet here is actually a fairly strong card, because what you basically do, you play it for like 2 to 3 to 4 mana, and just gain enough life every turn that's hard for them to kill you. Tiltulite Justice, just artifact removal, is amazing in this format, and of course I'm in the colours without it. 6 mana, horrible card. That one's okay. You had some of this equipment, some of it was better than others, namely Cranial Plating. Thought Courier, pretty strong, it's a looter. Trinket Mage, pretty strong, taking a Bone Splitter. Loose Hope, it's removal with Scry 2. Artifact Destruction with Scry 2. There's a +4/+4 with Scry 2. They're all good cards. Okay, and the Lurker is okay. I guess between one of these two blue cards at the moment. I think I'll go Thought Courier just because we have a lot of 3/3. But could go either way, really. This card's weird. 9 mana and it can just repeatedly kill things, but it's super expensive. And you can return it to your hand, so you get to cast it again. Lucky you. It's not terrible. This is the first card in Magic to have negative power or negative toughness. It's a weird card. Not playable, but it's kind of cool for its own weirdness. Vanquish is not really what you want. It's better to destroy attackers than it is to destroy blockers anyway. Paradise Mantle is actually playable, I might take it. Merc Quadrupod is okay. It's a big body. Yeah, this card's not actually that good. Condescend is fine. Blind Braces is actually decent, especially if playing a few colours, but we're not really here. Oxidant Anchorite is okay. I think Paradise Mantle at the moment is the best. Helps any splashes I have, and also helps me splash future things. So I'll take that. Oh, Relic Barrier is not bad. And it's shiny. Oh, Cranial Plating, never mind. Don't know why it's still in the pack, really, because that card in this format is actually just broken. But I will absolutely take it, because it takes something very good in a pack for me not to take a Cranial Plating. And I'm taking it. I've got some equipment now. Goblin Cannon. It's another weird damage spell. For 4 mana, and then 6 mana the next turn, you can do 3 damage split however you choose, but then you lose the cannon. Basically, you have to stack the triggers, so stack the activated abilities, so that when it blows up, there's already a few abilities on the stack. Even though they have nothing to sacrifice, they still resolve, so it's a weird card. Bonus Swap, it's okay. Most Servitor I don't massively mind, but it just gives you a million 1/1s, so if I see a few of them going around, I might try and pick it up, but I'm not worried. Advanced Hover Guard is fine, but not amazing. Sawtooth Pressure is really not what I'm looking for. Oxidant Anchorite is okay, but we're not heavy white at the moment. Between that and Goblin Cannon, I think I'd rather have the Anchorite, but it's actually pretty, yeah, I could have taken Hoverguard there as well. Falcon Mastermind is okay. Not really what we're looking for. Cackling Imp is not bad. Probably better than a Mastermind, just have to see. Chittering Rats, let's see, anything else? Arcbound Crusher, so that's a bit of a combo there. And reset Tooth with Chiscoria once in a turn. What else? What else? Anything else? Doesn't seem like it. Just seeing how many enter the battlefield effects I can find to make that card playable. Pretty much just Chittering Rats right now, and it is a double blue cost. So I'm going to take the Cackling Imp because I want to be in black. And although Healer's Headdress is good as well, but I'll take Cackling Imp, whatever. It's a flyer. Oriox Salvages. Card is pretty decent. It's a shame we don't have any Spell Bombs, because that's a real combo. We have Arcbound Worker and 2 equipment. Lock of Omens doesn't do anything in our deck, really. Hunter Prowl is fine, but not what we're particularly looking for. Skyrange Mounter can be very good if you build your deck to take advantage of it. Just 5 mana 5/5s all day. I like the idea of a 4 mana 2/4 that recycles our 1-drops. Although, I'm really not abusing it. I could just take Cackling Imp. Could just be better. I think I'll actually take Cackling Imp. Don't have enough combos otherwise. We've got Relentless Rats, but that's not amazing. We've got Blind Creeper, which is actually fine. Makes your opponent's tricks much better, but oftentimes on your turn it's just 2 mana 3/3. It's pretty strong. Don't really want any of these red cards, green cards, don't want any of the other 2 black cards, they're actually terrible. Voxel and Anchorite's okay, but I'd rather not play them. At the moment I don't even have to play white, which is good. So I'll take Blind Creeper. Voxel Star White's okay. That's not actually very good. Blue Soap's just fine. Okay, skip her up, keep steps. Yep, not a card. I'll take Blue Soap. It's a removal spell. Risk Cry 2. Aspiring Collar. Giving things first strike. Probably not as good as a removal spell, Scry 2. Okay. Neurox Stealth Suit can be very good. Against people with a lot of removal. Not sure if we'll be playing that. Crazy Grass Green is good against aggressive decks. I feel like we can side in random ones to do the same job. Down Firm's okay. I think we'll just take Neurox Stealth Suit and side it in when we need it. Gain 5 life, not interested. 4 mana 5/1 might be relevant. If they're playing a bunch of like that 3/4 spider, I might side this in. Basically a removal spell against big decks. I'm not playing the Scarab ever. Goblin Cannon can be playable. Probably not main decking that either. Hiding our white stuff. Don't really care about a 2/2 first striker most of the time. Mana Geezer. You know, Mana Geezer. I'll take Field of Fright. It'd be pretty good against a control-ish deck if I really need it. At the moment I'd rather not play it. Spark Elemental is irrelevant, but I will take it and hide it. So the deck looks alright. I wouldn't say it's blowing anyone out of the water, but got a few little interactions here. We've got Arcbound Overseer with 2 other Arcbound guys from what I can see. We've got some black cards, got Chittering Rat, Screams within. A few good ways to pick up value. Got some 2-drops, Thought Courier. Here we go. Alright. Playing those probably. We'll see in a moment. Playing Whale of Nim. Playing all of this. Definitely playing Irradiate. Just kills most things. And Consume Spirit. So we're very heavy black at the moment. Makes that Consume Spirit good. Play Paradise Mantle, Arcbound Worker, Bones Leon Scimitar. There's so many playables in this set just because everything is colourless. Play all of this. Probably play those, but I'll put them on the side at the moment. Playing that probably, playing that, playing that, playing that, playing that. 26 cards. Okay, so we can cut some things. Probably not. Paradise Mantle though. Hulls back inverted, mana cost. Probably cut Razor Golem because we're not playing planes. Okay, let's move our spells down. Playing Vault of Whispers as well. Cranial Plating. Spell. That's a creature. That's a spell. Spell. I guess creatures can be spells too, but these are the actual spells. And Consume Thread, which I will happily cast for 5 if I need to. Or 6, or whatever. What else? What have we got here? So Mirror Enforcer is more of a 5-drop. 5 mana 4/4, just fine. Sometimes it's cheaper. Darksteel Gargoyle is strong. 26, 25, because we've got Vault of Whispers right there. Alright, so might cut Bound Worker, might cut a 4-drop, but rather not. Spying Golem is just fine, deals with flyers. Could cut a Lose Hope and just bring them in when I need them. Strings Within and Whale of an M seem a bit better. Could actually just cut both Lose Hopes. Doesn't seem like the worst thing in the world. Don't have that. Maybe I can play 16. I don't really want to play 16 lands with this deck. My mana should be good, but my curve kind of requires that I play enough mana to get to my 7 and 8. I'm not really playing with these blue cards after all. Just playing one blue card, Thought Career. Let me just cut that. I think I'll just cut that and play Lose Hope. Maybe Fill with Fright. I think I'll start with Lose Hope and maybe cut it if I need to. So we're actually mono black in the end. So I suggest 16 slots. Can we afford to go to 16 land? It's actually still playable without, like a 6 mana 2/4 flyer is still unfortunately playable. Do we want it more than a Vigilance or just something else? Just bring something else. This is really a 5-drop. Spire Golem. Do we want to play you without islands? Interesting. Scavenging Scarab is not terrible. It's a 3/3. Dross Prowler, maybe? Really bad against artifact creatures, but it's really good against decks without them. I've got certainly sideboard options. Spy Golem can probably be one of the sideboard options, I guess. I've got 2 Cackling Embers if I really need Waysteel Fires, and a Darksteel Gargoyle. Yeah, we're fine. Maybe just play another Lose Hope. Or I think I'll play 1 Fill with Fright before I play a second Lose Hope. It can do things. 17 land. Yeah, looks okay. Paradise Mantle. Do we still need a Paradise Mantle? Probably not, actually. Now that we're playing an entirely monocolored deck. I'm gonna cut Paradise Mantle. Maybe bring Toothwitch's Gloria or something else. I want to have a few artifacts because I've got some things that care about it, but I also don't want to go overboard. 12 creatures, is that enough? Could bring in a 4-drop black creature, a 6-drop artifact creature, a terrible Mermoon Vessel, or I could just play Toothwitch's Gloria after all. Kind of tricky. Not actually too sure. Also comes down to preference too. I've just got such an aversion to 4 mana 3/3s with a downside. It's probably just fine. I think I'll play it. You can just keep chugging in there. Put a Cranial Plating on it, put a Bone Splitter on it, put a Leon's Scimitar on it. Having equipment on reasonably sized guys is fine. Although Razor Golem kind of does the same thing. I might just play Razor Golem over it. 3/4 Choo Choo Train. 6-drops are so much harder to cast than the 4-drops. Could be a reason to play Dross Prowler too. So tough. So tough. I just play Dross Prowler. Keep our curve lower. I've got ways to sneak through the damage. Lose hope. Whale of the Nim, stuff like that. Yeah, I guess that's fine. Submit. Alright. Now we are actually submitted this time. I have confirmation of it. I have not disconnected. So, I'm going to leave it here. I'll see you again.